So continuing on with lesson 9, sequence 03 montage. So it's the same one we used in the last video. We're going to be adding rotation and changing our anchor point. So the first thing you want to do, if it's not turned on, is video 6. If this eyeball is off, go ahead and click it and turn it on. Also move your playhead to the beginning of the clip, which is 1 second and 13 frames. There you can see the text. The other neat thing about this clip is the text in Adobe Premiere that is created is vector based. So hopefully you guys have had Photoshop or Illustrator and you've heard the term vector versus raster. The footage that we just looked at is a raster. Any still photos, video are all rasters, and that means they have square edges. So as you scale stuff, they will become jagged if you scale them too far, and it also loses the quality. So in one of the previous videos I mentioned, 120, 125 is about where you want to go with scaling. Pushing it further than that, you're going to really start to see quality loss. However, the text is vector based, and that means it's mathematically scalable. So it's using math to create lines that will turn into letters, shapes, logos. A lot of times logos are made this way because you need them for something really small or something really big. So that way they're easily scalable and they don't lose any of their quality. So it's just adding math as you scale the image. So this could be scaled up very large if needed be. So that's a little bit about vector and raster. Hopefully you guys will grasp that, and I'm sure you'll continue to hear it as you continue with your comm classes. Alright, so now let's take a look at some rotation. Once you have your playhead at 1 second and 13 frames, come up to rotation in your effects control panel and go ahead and type in 90. This is going to turn it 90 degrees. And you can see the text is now sideways. We don't have any keyframes because we have not engaged the animation stopwatch. So at this point, go ahead and click it, and that will allow you to put in a keyframe. Alright, so the book is also wanting us to undo this process, so hit Control Z and Control Z again. So that puts it back. Oh, and also when you're in this, notice I talked about the vector and rasters. This is a vector motion. We did not see this option when we were in the videos. The videos only had motion down here. So if you mess with the motion here, it will act as a raster. You need to actually do it in the vector motion for it to use that mathematical scaling. Okay, the next thing after the undo is make sure your vector motion setting heading is still selected in the effects control panel. So that's this one right here. It is selected. And we want to move our anchor point, and that's this crosshair that you're seeing in the center of the footage. And the reason it's talking about that is because when we did the 90 degrees, it pivoted on this point that you're seeing. So now you want to slide it up here to the corner of the B, and we're going to repeat the process of setting our rotation to 90 degrees. So we'll go ahead and change that to 90 again. Make sure you're in vector motion and not the regular motion. Okay, so we now turned it. Notice that it rotated on that anchor point with the letter B. And we'll set and engage a keyframe. The book now tells us it wants to go to, I believe it was 6 seconds in. Yes. So you can drag your playhead until you get to 6, or if you don't want to do it that way, you can also come over here and you can type in 6 seconds flat. Don't click where I clicked, because remember, every time you click somewhere it gets real moody. So if you have 6 here, we'll try it again. Hit enter, and it jumped us right to 6 seconds. At this point, it now wants us to hit reset for our rotation, and that's going to make it go back to 0. However, it's not going to get rid of our keyframes. Notice that it still maintained keyframes, it just changed it from 90 to 0. So when we play through this clip, you can see the text is being rotated in, and it will stop once it gets to 6 seconds. So resetting here is just a faster way than typing in 0. You could have typed in 0, but it still maintained your keyframes. To get rid of the keyframes, you need to turn off the stopwatch or the toggle of animation. Okay, so we saw that, and we will continue with the next step in the next video.